Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. One thing that you learn if you're a politician is that you never ask people their opinion. They get one vote every 5 years, and that's as much interaction as with them as you need. One only has to look back at naming the boat Boaty McBoatface to realise how awful people are. Sometimes funny, sometimes terrible, never giving the answer though that you want. And that is why Ian Blackford has obviously forgotten that lesson. He's made a statement that invites ridicule. He says it's not his place to decide whether he was a good Westminster leader or not. He said it's up to other people to decide. Well, okay, we're other people, aren't we? Let's decide. No, Ian, you were rubbish. You were absolutely rubbish at your job. You were arrogant, conceited, always angry, always missing the point. You were pushing the same thing time and time again, regardless of what the topic of the discussion was. You never listened to anybody. You never considered other people's feelings or viewpoints. You were, in fact, the worst Westminster leader until the next one. Anyway, we'll have a look at this article very quickly here, just to see why he's asked this, and to just let my head wonder why he even thought about saying it. It's mental. Anyway, here goes. So, Ian Blackford refuses to say if he was a good SNP Westminster leader, amid numerous scandals that are still going on. The Skye, Lochaber and Ross MP was ousted from his role by Stephen Flynn and claimed that it was up to other people to decide whether or not he was a good leader. And we have decided, haven't we? We know most certainly he was not. Anyway, he said he would let other people judge whether he led the Nats in the Commons well during his 5 years in control. He was the leader between 2017 and 2022, replacing Angus Robertson, Air Miles Angus, who humiliatingly lost his previous safe Moray seat to Douglas Ross. But he was the victim of a plot to oust him by Stephen Flynn, who took over the role in December last year, just in time for Christmas. Because everybody had had enough of him. He used to stand there and he'd go, angry, independence, Westminster's fault, Scotland's a bad place. Doesn't matter what they were talking about. Same performance every time. He was like a trained monkey. A fat monkey, though. A really rotund, obese, fat monkey. Mr. Blackford presided over a number of scandals during his time in charge, including urging his colleagues to support sex pest Patrick Grady, who was found guilty of inappropriately sexually touching a male teenager. And in a shocked, leaked recording, the Skye, Lochaber and Ross MP cajoled his fellow MPs to make sure Mr. Grady was feeling supported and not left out. Because again, the SNP, they've got to protect the perpetrator and let the victim go to the wall. You know, they do like their sex vests and perverts in the party. There's many of them. His victim blasted the way he was treated by the party, and he claimed that the then Westminster leader had attempted to resolve the incident informally at a meeting at the House of Commons, which he described as an ambush. He later called on him to resign, as the SNP has punished me more severely than the man who sexually harassed me. But that's always the way with the SNP. You can do anything, but because you're in the party, it's like the Politburo, isn't it? It's like if you're a member of the Communist Party in Russia, you can get away with anything. Oh, you can't be arrested. Why? The man is a party member. It's that, and that's what it is in the SNP. They're an absolute dictatorship. Get away with anything. Mr. Blackford also blundered by insisting that the UK, after independence, would be liable for state pension payments, which was easily debunked by the Scottish Government officials. He's also one of the highest paid MPs through his second job, finishing ninth due to his work with the Golden Charter, where he pockets £1,200 an hour. And he always goes on that he's a simple crofter from the Highlands. Bullshit. The MP was also involved in a COVID row when he ranted about an English photographer showing off pictures of Caithness. He accused Ollie Taylor of breaking lockdown rules in November and told him to explain himself, despite him living in the Highlands, with the nationalists believing he was from the south of England. So he's actually taking a picture from just outside his back garden. But, you know, this is what happens when you elect a moron to high office. And it's a very nice picture, actually, isn't it? Very Edgar Allan Poe. You can imagine a bit of horror in there. Anyway, in a tweet in which he deleted quickly, he said, "As you live in the south of England and travel to Scotland is only permitted for reasons I'm sure there will be a valid reason why you are posting a photo from the north of Scotland last night." And he was forced into a grovelling apology for his actions following criticism from around the political spectrum. See, this is what he does. He opens his mouth and he speaks without being in possession of any facts whatsoever. It's like the people on here, and I'm going to do another aside. I get, especially the SNP lot, they come on and they keep berating me, calling me English. And as you all know, my regular viewers, I ain't no Englishman. After being deposed as leader, he announced that he will not be standing at the next general election. Hooray! And there was much cheering, both in Westminster and in Scotland. He said, when asked by the Daily Record if he believed he'd been a good SNP Westminster leader, Mr. Blackford said, "I'll let other people make a judgment on that rather than me." And we have judged. We've weighed him and judged him and found him wanting. He has clashed with the new leader, Mr. Flynn, after the latter insisted that his predecessor had not informed him that the group had been without auditors for months. And they publicly fell out before apparently making up with a staged picture on the Westminster terrace. Yes, pretendy friendies, you know. They absolutely still loathe each other. But then Mr. Blackford is quite easily loathed, I think. Mr. Blackford could make a return to frontline politics by standing for a Holyrood seat, which he refused to rule out when he launched his report on economic growth in Scotland, which has recommendations for the Scottish Government. That's if anyone in Scotland would actually vote for him. Probably the Holyrood elections, you're going to lose a lot of SNP seats. And there'll be a lot of people up there thinking, well, you know, I don't want to give my seat up for the likes of him. He was odious in Westminster. We don't want him being odious up here. Anyway, there we go. I shall round off and I shall come up and we shall laugh as Blackford seriously wants us to judge him. I'll judge you. Won't be complimentary though. Coming up. The people in Westminster will not miss him. However, there is a Greggs just down the road who's going to have to fire 3 people once he leaves. He single-handedly keeps that shop running. But he'll go back up home to Lochaber and he will sit there and pretend to be that, you know, little crofter again on his £1,200 an hour salary and his huge mansion. And then he'll try and get a vote, try and get a seat up there and be a man of the people. Look at me, I'm a man of the people. He wouldn't know a people if he met one. He is so removed from reality and so filled with hate and jealousy. And it's just good that he's going. But we want to hope he does not stand for the SNP anywhere in Scotland for for Holyrood. Hopefully roundly rejected by everyone. He's getting on a bit as well, so maybe he will retire. Who knows? Anyway, I shall finish there. Thank you very much for watching. If you like what you're seeing here on the channel, do please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, leave a like, leave a comment, please share the video. Definitely subscribe. Very important. 70% of my regular viewers don't subscribe, but we need to get the message out. And the subscribing pushes the algorithm and just spreads the word a little bit wider. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and remember it's not long now and Ian Blackford will be gone and Parliament will be a slightly better place. Bye.